in the small town of Ravenscroft, nestled between dense forests and shadowy hills, there stood an old mansion that locals spoke of only in hushed tones. The Grayson Manor, as it was known, had a dark history shrouded in mystery. Legends whispered of a curse that haunted the mansion, causing paranormal activities to unfold every year on the night of October 31st. As the moon hung low in the ink-black sky, casting an eerie glow over the town, a group of curious individuals decided to explore the infamous Grayson Manor. Among them were Sarah, a skeptical journalist seeking a thrilling story, Michael, a brave history enthusiast, and Emma, a self-proclaimed medium with a connection to the supernatural. The air grew colder as they approached the creaking gates of the mansion. The wrought iron fence seemed to groan in protest as they pushed it open, revealing the imposing structure that loomed ahead. The windows, long bereft of glass, stared like empty eye sockets into the night. As they stepped into the grand foyer, a sudden chill swept through the air. Emma, with her heightened sensitivity to the paranormal, shivered involuntarily. The group pressed on, their flashlights casting long, uncertain shadows on the dilapidated walls. Strange whispers echoed through the corridors, as if the very walls of the mansion were recounting tales of despair. Sarah, eager to capture the supernatural on camera, began documenting every creak and whisper. Michael, however, couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, and unease settled like a heavy fog in the pit of his stomach. They ventured into the decaying dining room, where an antique chandelier swung ominously overhead. The atmosphere thickened as Emma attempted to communicate with the spirits. Suddenly, a series of unexplained knocks echoed through the room, causing the group to jump in unison. The air seemed charged with an otherworldly energy. As the clock struck midnight, the paranormal activities intensified. Doors slammed shut, and ghostly apparitions flickered in and out of existence. Sarah's camera captured fleeting glimpses of ethereal figures, their faces twisted in anguish. The group, now gripped by fear, huddled together in the center of the grand hall. Emma, trembling, began to channel the spirits. Unearthly voices filled the room, recounting tales of tragedy and betrayal that had unfolded within the mansion's walls. It became evident that the curse was a result of a dark past that refused to be forgotten. The temperature plummeted, and an otherworldly glow emanated from the mansion's long-forgotten library. Against their better judgment, the group followed the eerie light, discovering an ancient book bound in human skin. The pages revealed a malevolent ritual that had been performed centuries ago, sealing the fate of the Grayson family. As the clock neared the darkest hour, the mansion itself seemed to come alive with malevolence. Shadows danced on the walls, and the air hummed with an unholy energy. The group, realizing they had unleashed forces beyond their control, scrambled to find a way to break the curse. In a desperate attempt to appease the restless spirits, Emma recited an incantation found in the curse book. The room quivered, and a deafening silence enveloped the mansion. For a moment, it seemed as though the curse had been broken. However, the mansion unleashed one final, spine-chilling scream, a manifestation of the tortured souls within. As the first rays of dawn illuminated the horizon, the group fled the Grayson Manor, forever haunted by the harrowing night of paranormal activities. Ravenscroft returned to its quiet slumber, but the legend of the Grayson Manor persisted. The cursed mansion stood as a grim reminder that some secrets should remain buried, and that the line between the living and the dead is a fragile one that should never be crossed.